When you can't make it to City Hall or the school board meetings, local journalists from Duluth News-Tribune will be there to report the facts and get your questions answered. Local news works for you. Stay up to date at DuluthNewsTribune.com.
Hello, Northlanders. It's Thursday, September 12th. I'm Wyatt Buckner with the Duluth News-Tribune Minute, presented by Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union.
The average MPECU member saves over $785 a year in better rates and lower fees. And with MPECU, every ATM is your ATM. With their free checking program, you get ATM fee reimbursements at any ATM anywhere in the U.S. Check out Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union's services online at mpecu.com or visit their offices in downtown Duluth, Arrowhead Road, or Miller Trunk Highway.
Now here's a look at today's headlines. A former Iron Range state lawmaker who was jailed this summer amid a sexual assault investigation has been charged with an alcohol offense. Jason Ian Metsa, 44 of Virginia, has been summoned to appear in state district court on a gross misdemeanor count of furnishing alcohol to a person under the age of 21. Court documents allege that Metsa met the 18-year-old woman through the dating app Tinder, picking her up in Superior and bringing her to his Lake Vermilion cabin over the 4th of July weekend. Metsa, a former DFL legislator and state official, was arrested July 6th after the woman said she was sexually assaulted several times during her stay, but he was released from jail 3 days later without charges as prosecutors awaited further evidence. Assistant St. Louis County Attorney Chris Flory confirmed in the News Tribune this week that his office would not be pursuing criminal sexual conduct charges, saying they are not supported by the evidence the office has received. A search warrant says the St. Louis County Sheriff's Office first learned of the incident from another person who had communicated with the 18-year-old via phone. The woman agreed to meet with investigators away from the cabin. She stated that she had accepted Metsa's invitation to the Beatty Township property and that he picked her up from Superior, stopping at a grocery store and the Hibbing Airport to pick up a friend on the way. According to a criminal complaint, the woman had approximately 4 shots of alcohol that night. The warrant indicates she went on to describe at least 4 sexual encounters that night and the following day. She reportedly said she initially, quote, tried to push him away but he did not stop, end quote. However, the document also notes she, quote, permitted Metsa to continue without telling him to stop or physically resisting, end quote. Authorities also wrote that the woman could not recall specific details of the July 5th incidents because she was, quote, significantly intoxicated, end quote. In a July 9th statement, Metsa allegedly admitted to meeting the woman through Tinder, inviting and transporting her to the cabin and offering her a shot of whiskey. He said beverages, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic, were shared among everyone at the cabin, and acknowledged that he knew the woman was only 18. The complaint does not indicate what Metsa told investigators regarding the sexual activity. He did not return a call from the News Tribune on Wednesday and did not have any attorney listed. His first court appearance is scheduled for October 9th. The exhibit, Post Office in the Pacific, about Captain Clarence Scheibe, a cloquet postmaster who served in the Pacific Theater during World War II, opened last week at the Richard I. Bong Veterans Historical Center. After the start of World War II, Scheibe responded to the call for volunteers postcards sent by the Army Postal Service. Within months, Scheibe went from being a postmaster in northern Minnesota to overseeing the communications for the entire Pacific Theater with the Army Postal Service. Scheibe went from being a postmaster in northern Minnesota to overseeing the communications for the entire Pacific Theater with the Army Postal Office. Scheibe enlisted in 1942, serving in New Caledonia and the Solomon Islands in the South Pacific. He was responsible for maintaining highly confidential communications between Washington, D.C. and other Allied commands, as well as personal communications between soldiers and loved ones back home. The exhibit is based on actual descriptions and layouts of military post offices in the Pacific Theater during World War II, with a new interactive display containing memorable mail from the war. The exhibit will be featured at the Bong Center for the next year. It's time now for this week's Business Beat with Duluth News Tribune business reporter Brielle Bredston.
Health Forward initiative to enter its final phase. As Phase 2 of Aspirus St. Luke's Health Forward initiative nears completion, President of Aspirus Minnesota Region, Dr. Nick Van Deelen, will give an update on the $81 million portion of the campus redevelopment and expansion project. Phase 2 included the addition of 3 stories onto Building A, which expanded critical care space with 28 intensive care unit beds and 33 coronary intensive care beds, as well as new private rooms. The replacement and expansion of the new parking ramp was also part of Phase 2. The luncheon event will take place today, Thursday, September 12th, from 11:45 a.m. to 1 p.m. at The Garden, located at 425 South Lake Avenue in Canal Park. Registration is available on the Downtown Duluth organization's website. Completed in Phase 1 was the construction of Building A and specialty clinics, a surgery expansion, as well as relocation and expansion of emergency department and cardiac cath labs, and relocation of the ambulance garage and helistop. This portion of the initiative was an investment of $87.5 million. Entering into Phase 3, the health system will invest $150 million into outpatient services, a main campus lobby, as well as centralized registration for on-campus services, and install a skywalk to connect parking to the east side of its campus. Election season is in full swing. A team from Weber Johnson, an Edina-based public affairs agency, will take a nonpartisan deep dive into the state of elections on a regional, statewide, and national level. The Hermantown Area Chamber of Commerce will host this luncheon event on Tuesday, September 17th at Blackwoods Event Center in Proctor from noon to 1. Attendees will hear about which political races to keep an eye on and what outcomes could mean for businesses. Registration is available through the Hermantown Chamber's website. I'm Brielle Bredston. Send me some more business tips at bbredston@duluthnews.com.
Now here's a look at your forecast, brought by the Superior Telegram's history podcast, Archive Dive.
Thursday weather for the Duluth area, not looking like too bad of a day today. Temperatures warming up into the lower 70s today with east wind at 10 to 15 miles an hour. So a little bit cool off the lake, but not all too bad. Into tomorrow, temperatures pretty similar to today in the low 70s, an east breeze at 10 to 15 miles an hour. We'll watch for a few showers on Saturday, highs in the lower 70s, a chance of rain in the 50% range, and then moving on into Sunday, it does look like the weather will dry up. I'm Storm Tracker meteorologist Dylan Vogt.
Thank you to Archive Dive for their support. The monthly history podcast, hosted by Superior Telegram reporter Maria Lockwood, dips into the archives of historic events, people, and places around Superior and Douglas County. A new episode titled A Tour of Superior's Retooled Schools is now available at superiortelegram.com or wherever you also get this podcast. Reporting for today's episode was done by Tom Olson, Macklin Caruso, and Brielle Bredston. Thank you for listening to Duluth News Tribune Minute. Have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.